What has this kind of workout tour been like for you over this last month?
Yeah, it's been a grind, I would say. It's my second year going through it because I tested the waters last year. So, I'm a little bit more comfortable, but it's been a grind, trying to have fun with it all, but, trying to perform my best.
Anything stand out to you in terms of this workout compared to some of the others? Usually, I guess it's a little bit more intense, less conditioning, more playing.
Yeah, it was an all guard workout, so I would say it made it a little bit more intense. Everyone could guard a little bit better, so it was an intense workout, for sure. A lot of high-end players.
What teams have you worked out for, and what are you trying to show them throughout this process?
I worked out for 10 teams, so it's been a lot. Just trying to show them I can compete on both ends. Everyone knows I can score the ball. I did that at the SEC, which is one of the highest, college levels. So just going out here showing I can compete on both ends, defensively, offensively, and just showing I'm a playmaker and just my strengths and what I could bring to an NBA team.
Can you name all 10, or am I putting you on the spot too much?
I don't want to miss anybody, so I don't know.
Gotcha. Can you explain the Y over IE? I know that's a difference that I noticed with you and your dad.
Yeah, both our names are originally with a Y. My dad's name's with a Y on his birth certificate, but he had changed it to sign signatures. But we're both Y though. Gotcha. It's confusing. I don't know why he did it.
Gotcha.
How much familiarity do you feel when you walk into these buildings? Does it settle you a little bit? I mean, this is the environment, at least, is not foreign to you.
No, the environment, every gym I go to, I know a couple people. A lot of people say they know my dad, they worked with him. So one guy even played with my dad in the gym in here. So, it's familiar, always see familiar faces, but, it's always new going to new environments.
Is he staying out of the process, or have you guys had that conversation, like, stay out of this, or I need you here?
For my dad?
Yeah.
No, we talk about everything throughout the process. He played in the NBA, so why not use him? But, our journeys are a little bit different as far as the draft process. He didn't have to fly to every team and stuff like that. So I talk to him every day about it. So.
To that point, does everybody kind of have a story when they meet you? Like, let me tell you this story about.
Yeah, all these, all the coaches always got something to say about my dad, the players, stuff like that, and even some like the media players, media people, or people that just were growing up in the Chicago area or stuff like that. So it's cool to hear and cool to see.
The process of flying to 10 different places, what's that been like? A grind? What's it been like?
Yeah, I said earlier, it's been a grind. Making sure I take care of my body, using the team's facilities and stuff like that. But it's definitely been a grind. It's been tiring. So ready to get through it, but just enjoying it every day.
How much do you know about the Pacers in general?
One of my best friends, Dwayne Washington, he plays on the Pacers, so I know, quite a little bit about them. My dad and Reggie Miller, so I know about the battles as well, so cool little history.
Dwayne have anything to say to you ahead of this trip?
No, I didn't even tell him I was out here, but...
You're gonna know now.
No, I'm gonna call him after this and let him know.
What would you say defines your game? Because so much of you is always going to be this is your dad. What defines you and what makes you, ready for the NBA?
Different than my dad?
Yeah.
I think we're just both unique, different players. He's 6'8", I'm 6'2". It's a totally different era of basketball. Mm-hmm. I'm my own player, I'm my own, so I'll say we're quite different in that.
How did you grow at, Vanderbilt throughout the SEC? What things do you think you improved on, and what things are you still trying to improve on throughout this process?
Yeah, I definitely grew. I give credit to the coaching staff and the players that were there that, helped develop me. Going out of high school, I wasn't really highly recruited or anything like that, so, they developed me a lot, and I just take that from hard work, just having a good support system for my family and stuff like that. So just taking that hard work and work ethic with me throughout my career.
Does that benefit that you're such a different style of player than your dad, that you don't have to worry about like the direct comparisons to what he did for so long?
No, I think people still compare me to my dad. Like, what's the difference between you and your dad? And we're totally different. I'm a foot shorter than him, and we just have different styles of games. But people still compare us. There's no problem with that. I think it's cool. It's cool for me as well that my dad played in the NBA and was a legend at that. So there's no problem with it.
How would you describe?
Is there any stories that you've been told, like you are talking to Taylor, like stories that you've heard that maybe you hadn't heard before that kind of made you put your father into a different maybe perspective or light than what you knew?
Nah, he's kind of all the same, so I'm used to everything that people tell me about him.
How would you describe just your journey throughout the SEC? I know you kind of had to prove yourself, and what is that like, having to prove, again, yourself, your name, who you are individually?
Yeah, I know I had a quite different journey than a lot of players throughout this draft process. Coming out to Vanderbilt, I went to the worst team in the SEC, a team that was 0-18, didn't win the game. So, it was a rough, beginning when I first got there. But I think, that was a perfect place for me to be. It helped me be hungry, it helped me work harder. And I think it was a great fit for me.
How did you and Dwayne become close friends?
Dwayne and I also were actually teammates in high school, and his dad and my dad knew each other, so we were always close. And then even last year during pre-draft when I was testing the waters, we worked out every day together, we lifted every day together, we hung out every night, so me and Dwayne are real close.
How inspiring is it to see his journey to go undrafted? Obviously, you want to get drafted, but to see him get it out the mud and be successful with the Pacers.
I'm not surprised at all what Dwayne's success has been. You know, every level he's won at, he's succeeded. Playing with him in high school, you know, he was a year older than me, but he was underrated then. I thought he was one of the best players in the country then. And then going to college, doing his thing, and then just doing pre-draft for them. We would do pre-draft runs, and I would be like, Dwayne should be definitely getting drafted. And then, you know, he ended up getting drafted, but at the end of the day, you know, he stuck to it. He got his grind, and he's found a home. So I'm proud for him for that, but yeah, I'm not saying I'm surprised.
Do you view yourself through that same lens of whatever I got to do, whether it's drafted, undrafted, summer league, for whatever I got to do, just prove myself?
Yeah, I think, you know, I've been proving myself my whole life, so I think the journey is just going to continue. So.
2-on-2, who's winning? You and your dad, or Dwayne and Dwayne Sr.?
Oh, I got to say me and my dad. Come on, I can't get Dwayne that much credit.
What's this next week like for you mentally, just as you get ready for what's a life-changing time?
Yeah. I think I have 4 more workouts left in the next span of 5 days or something like that. So I'm trying to stay locked in on these workouts, not trying to focus too much on the draft, even though it's something I think about every minute of the day. But I'm just trying to stay focused and locked in and eventually focus on the draft.
When did this become a realistic goal for you to know, like, obviously every kid wants to be in the NBA. You had a father that played in the NBA. But when did you know in your head, like, okay, I can make this step too?
I would say my second year of college, after during my sophomore year, when I kind of blew up. I was one of the top scorers in the SEC. I started to have some individual success. I would say until then I didn't really, I was kind of focused on what level I was at. Just like high school, trying to make it to college, but do well in high school. Now I got to college, just trying to make it in college. So I would say at my second year of college.
When was the first time you beat your dad one-on-one? Have you even played one-on-one?
My dad stopped playing me one-on-one.
He did?
Yeah.
Why?
He started getting hurt, so he rather just quit playing before I eventually beat him.